I loved the PQ when it started out. I thought it was a breath of fresh air. It was pushing an agenda in terms of language and independence that only made sense to me. I mean, I had a real strong sense when I arrived here that this was a different place. It didn't feel like Canada to me. It felt like Quebec.
The one change in this neighborhood is definitely gentrification, and that totally pisses me off.
It's not like the minute I was elected, the idea was, okay, go, 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 we're going to make public art, this and that. The idea is, first of all, understand the machine that I'm involved in now, because you can't just convince them to do it, because if they appropriate it in the wrong context, even if they want to do it, it could burn it out and it can kill it, or it could really screw it up.
The rents have gone much higher. Living the artist life is, as we were doing about 8 years ago, was a lot easier than it is now.
And that whoever comes along after me, whoever my predecessor, whoever comes along after me, is going to build on that and not try to tear it down and start over. That's the plague. That's what's plagued this city for so long. I've watched 5 administrations go through since I've been involved in graffiti culture, and every time it comes back to the same discussion, it comes back to the same questions, the same things. It doesn't evolve.
The red patch designates the essence of the Occupy movement for me. And the Occupy movement is that kind of movement that's outside our political box.
Like that charter shit last year, I didn't like that too much, you know?
Why not?
Well, I feel like they're picking on 1% of the population, pretty much, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we have a huge problem with Muslim extremists here and picking on ladies just because they wear headscarves, kind of mean, kind of stupid.
I saw early on how important it was for my Francophone friends I had met to maintain their identity separately from the rest of Canada and to fight for their own country.
And the problem with street art and graffiti is it evokes an enormous amount of emotion and frustration and anger amongst people. And people allow their frustration and their anger to perpetuate decisions that are not necessarily positive, and it keeps people stuck in a cycle that's negative.
Doesn't want to deal with the madness that incorporates this fantastic fantasy that we have, thinking that the profit motive is what drives the whole world.
My first reaction, coming from being a graffiti writer, coming from almost being a high school dropout, never having gone to CEGEP, never going to university, my impression was, I can't do politics. I don't wear a suit and a tie. I don't connect with that. I don't relate to that world. I'm not a conformist. I'm not part of the machine. I don't want to be. I've been fighting it for 20 years. But I've been fighting it to change things for 20 years. I don't want to be a part of those people.
It was a political tool to get the rednecks out in the country to vote, you know, and I was happy that the mayor and stuff was like, we're not doing that here, you know.
I have very little faith in politicians. There you go.
Have you always?
Long time, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a notion of kind of philosophical basis that's outside the capitalist system of the profit motive. And it's egalitarian. And it's humanitarian. It's got all these qualities that capitalists claim to have, but obviously, you know.
We've gotten older. We're letting the young generation come forth and take the center scene. So,
You sound like a grandmother. What are you talking about?
well, I am. I mean, not a grandmother, but
Of course I vote. I vote all the time there are elections. We have to do that. It's the least we can do. In fact, it is the least we can do. We need to do much more.
I feel much older and really responsible, and yeah, like I feel like I'm a boring adult.
Okay.
I wasn't before.
People should be more political. People should become more engaged in their neighborhoods.
How come they're not?
Lethargy, apathy.
When I was thinking about it and my responsibilities in it, and my responsibility to the youth that I work with, and showing them that if you accomplish good things or if you do positive things, even if it's for yourself, one day people recognize it, and that you could be tattooed from head to toe and be a major screw up sometimes in life, but if you do more good than you do bad, then people might come along and actually give you an opportunity to do something really incredible and change something for your community or for your city. That was my responsibility. It wasn't to get elected. It was to prove that people like us and people like those kids that are disenfranchised or going through troubled parts of their lives will grow up eventually, and if they do something good, will be rewarded for the good actions.
Are we out of?
No, we're not. Never out of tape, ever.
I know. What time is it? My name is Frederick Smith, and you are watching Quelque Show.